Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Worcester. I'm the Deputy Faculty Leader for Humanities here at Cottam School, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about choosing GCSE Geography as one of your options. So Geography at Cottam is obviously something that a lot of us are going to be familiar with from year 7, 8 and 9, but potentially don't know a lot about the GCSE or the course that comes with that. We study under the AQA specification here at Cottam. We find it's got a fantastic opportunity to discover really relevant and to explore through some really quite modern geographies. So how am I assessed? What's actually in this course? So we've got 3 papers. The first 2 are worth 35% of the course. The last one's worth 30%, so a fairly even split in terms of how you are assessed and how much each exam is worth. Each exam is now an hour and a half. Paper 3 has been extended from an hour and 15 to an hour and 30 minutes, which is fantastic. Gives students adequate time to sort of plan some of those questions without having to rush into the final 9-marker or the final essay. So paper 1 is living with the physical environment. That includes our look at natural hazards, which includes a look at tectonics, weather and climatic hazards, such as tropical storms, and climate change is an ever-growing hazard, an ever-growing issue on our planet. We then think about ecosystems. So through a unit called The Living World, we'll study predominantly tropical rainforests and deserts, but we'll also have a think about small-scale ecosystems and large biomes in general. And then we think about the UK's physical landscapes, that being rivers and coasts. We then think about challenges in the human environment, some really contemporary geographies in here, urban issues and challenges, where we think about cities with particular case studies on Bristol and Rio de Janeiro. We then think about development, and we think generally how we measure development, something that a lot of us will have studied in year 8. So we think about how we measure it. We think about the impacts of some places being more developed than others, why that might be. And then we have a think about 2 contrasting case studies, a high-income country, that being the UK, and a low-income country, that being Nigeria. We then have a think about resource management. This is a really contemporary, really modern unit, something that's studied quite a lot at university now, being a real key issue linking back to climate change. And our focus within resource management, we look at food, water and energy, but our focus, when we go into a little bit more depth on, is water. And you'll be expected to talk about that in a couple of 6 markers, no 9 markers in your exam. You've then got geographical applications and skills. That's paper 3. That's understanding geographical data, fieldwork, and an issue evaluation. So the paper starts with an issue and a set of questions on an issue that you have been examining in class. So the exam will give us a pre-release booklet in March that we have a read through, we have a look at, we examine what's in that, what's the issue being presented. For instance, a couple of years ago, it was about a energy from waste plant that was being built outside Cambridge. It didn't ultimately go ahead to the full specification of the plan, and students had to kind of justify what they thought about that project. Should it have gone ahead? Should it have not gone ahead? Why not? Okay. You then have your sections on geographical data, which is some pre-completed fieldwork, so some tables of data, some methods that you need to comment on, and then your own fieldwork evaluation, which I will talk about in just a moment. So that's a breakdown of the 3 exams there. They're quite diverse in the units, but they're fairly standard in how they are assessed. So it's 1, 2s, 3s, 4 markers. They're most common. Then you've got a couple of 6 markers throughout the exam and 2 9 markers per exam as well. So 2 more extended essay questions. And it's really nice, like I said, that we get that extra 15 minutes for the paper 3 because students were struggling with timing on that one. Fieldwork, it's a big draw for students when thinking about the GCSE. Geography is the only GCSE where we have to, by law, told by the DFE, to offer fieldwork to you, which obviously is geography. We've got to go see it in the real world, but it's a fantastic opportunity to get out the classroom and really see what's going on out there and really look at some of the geographies that we've discussed and discovered in class happening in the real world. So a little bit of geography in action. You need to do 1 human investigation and 1 physical investigation. And there's a big emphasis on inquiry. So going out to a place with a couple of questions and testing those questions. Actually, what is the answer to this? Here's what I thought before. Is my hypothesis true or not? And what is going on if not? So we go off to Burnham-on-Sea on the north coast of the southwest. and we have a little bit of look at the town itself, and we are trying to assess whether it's reliant on tourism. So you'll go off through the town, you answer a few questions, complete a few surveys, you'll do environmental impact assessments, for example. We have a little bit of a look at the coast as well. We normally do that in the morning. We get to walk down the beach. We have a look at things like seawalls and groins and various other different coastal defences, and we assess whether they're worth it, basically. Are they worth the money that was spent on them to protect the town behind? We do things like cost-benefit analysis and then another environmental impact assessment. And also, we just get to spend a bit of time talking about those defences, because these are things that we will have studied in class, but maybe not actually seen up close before. Okay. You also gain a real high level of personal development. Geography covers a set of real key skills for all of your studies in a lot of depth to hopefully grow you not just as a geographer, but as a student in general. So literacy with our long answer questions and essays, numeracy, we use a lot of quantitative data, graphing and mapping based data. IT, we use the laptops quite a lot and we use the computer rooms quite a lot, particularly when looking at GIS there on the board, geographic information systems, layered maps, to show patterns and to show various like geographical events and anomalies potentially. Working with others, lots of teamwork as part of that field work and in class, improving your own learning and performance, and problem solving. Fundamentally, and I'll say this again later on down the line, fundamentally geography is a critical thinking course. It teaches you to look at an issue, to look at a problem, and to evaluate it properly, to think critically about it, to pull in all sides of that debate and that argument, and to be able to put your viewpoint across coherently in a really well-structured argument, okay? Where do we fit in the options process? We're not a compulsory subject, so we're not a subject that you have to choose. Depending on the option stream that you are in, you will be pushed towards geography or history at GCSE, okay? Many students, despite us not being compulsory, do take geography and history. It's a very popular way for students to go in their GCSEs. Geography and history both attract large numbers of students, okay? Because they are so employable. There's so many key transferable skills. Aid workers in geography, town planners, transport planners. Town planners and transport planners in particular are very sought after at the moment. There's a shortage for our growing cities of planners, for our rural areas of transport planners and town planners. We need planners, and lots of degrees now are human geography and planning. So that might be an avenue that lots of us go down. Environmental consultants, geographers, cartographers, commercial residential surveyors, weather analysts, all the people presenting your news on the BBC and elsewhere, they are meteorologists. They're geographers fundamentally who've studied geography to be able to express that weather to you, to be able to interpret those maps. GIS analysts analysing issues and maps, planning surveyor and geological surveyor. Geography versus history is a conversation that comes up a lot. It really doesn't have to be a versus. Our most academic students at Cottam School will do both subjects. They are, however, both very content-heavy courses. They are courses that require a lot of extended writing and a lot of critical thinking. So if that's a worry for you, potentially avoid picking both. We don't recommend that students do both history and ancient history just because of the crossover in skills, okay? So, the General Secretary of the United Nations says this about geographers: they are often in the front lines of the world's crisis zones and disaster areas, enabling people to update their views of the Earth and its inhabitants. Without a geographer's perspective, we are often lost. What else do you gain on the course? Well, you're made to feel welcome and valued, to always ask for advice. Our doors are always open. To make constant progression, we will aid you to do that, to have fun, and obviously to laugh at our bad jokes. Ultimately, we feel that we do a great job in ensuring you will get your just rewards. The effort you put in, you get out in your grade at the end for your hard work, and learn to place real value on the crucial, fascinating subject. Numerous celebrities, numerous famous people, sportsmen and women, and people maybe a little bit more iconic for their study of geography, people like David Attenborough, have studied geography for the transferable skills it's offered, for the critical thinking that it offers. You could be that next person. So go out there, study geography, and then go on to be, I don't know, the next David Attenborough presenting on the TV. Some of our students who have taken geography in the past obviously place a lot of value in the subject, so just a few quotes from them. What I think I'm gaining from geography, this is from Samira in year 11, is that I'm expanding my knowledge about the life of individuals and how people thrive in different regions of the world. What I love about geography is that it helps me understand the basic physical systems that affect everyday life. From Hector in year 11, he was a year 13 student recently who has since left. He was a geographer, an exceptional geographer. Taking GCSE geography has been an extremely enriching experience where I've learned not only basic geography, but about many other topics such as climate change, natural hazards, the global economy, and a lot more, making geography one of the most varied and interesting GCSE options, holding an assortment of career choices in the far future. Geography GCSE has really widened my knowledge of the human and natural world. Everything we do in each lesson feels current and important to what's happening in modern day. As a visual learner, geography has been great for me because we look at a lot of different varieties of data and revision, which helps me to understand the work. It's really fun. From Maisie in year 11. And I believe I've gained the ability to look at some information and be able to form answers and conclusions. This is a very good skill as you can apply it to most subjects. I would suggest taking Geography GCSE because it's a generally interesting course that teaches you about the world. I would not know as much about different countries in the world, and that is why I'm happy that I took Geography from Linus in year 11. I am obviously biased, but I absolutely love this subject. I think it teaches you the ability to look at the world through different lenses, through a human geographical lens and a physical geographical lens, and to combine those, to think about how the physical world affects us, to look at problems critically, to pull in various different viewpoints, various different potential solutions around a problem, to express a coherent argument, to make a proper case for what you think and feel and believe and what you ultimately think is the right choice when considering a problem. Geography teaches you to appreciate the beauty and the diversity of the world, both in the human world and in the physical world. It's an exceptional course for you to study. There are lots of transferable skills. It's very sought after, not just by A-level centres like our sixth form and other colleges, but also by employers at GCSE and beyond. It is not just a course that sets you up for your A-level in geography or for your A-levels in general. It's a course that sets you up to be a proper citizen of the world. So I really hope lots of you choose to take it. Any questions, feel free to come and find us at Options Evening, where we can discuss that through with you, or come and find us in the Humanities office, or talk to your geography teacher, where you can have a little bit of a chat about the subject further. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.